start introducing. You're introducing Shujath, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to R&A Knowledge Series 2026. 1 minute, sir. My name is Sandeep, and I will be moderating today's session. So, as many of you are aware that R&A is celebrating 30 years, and as a part of this milestone, we have planned a series of events of webinars on various topics. And today's we have completed almost 8 webinars, and today is the ninth webinar, and the topic is AI for professionals, practical insights, risks, and future readiness. So, as you know, over past 1 year, I believe, artificial intelligence has moved from being a futuristic concept or to becoming a part of everyday professional lives. So whether it is a drafting of documents, conducting research, or preparing a presentation, or even if you say sending an email, drafting an email, people are heavily influencing on the AI. So at the same time, AI offers tremendous opportunity in the terms of efficiency and productivity. So it also raises important questions around accuracy, confidentiality, ethics, professional responsibility, and the future role of the professionals. The objective of today's session is therefore just not just to understand what AI is, but more importantly, how professionals can practically use it, where caution is required, what tools and skills are being relevant, and how we can prepare ourselves for the future responsibility. So I believe this session will be extremely insightful and practical for the professionals across corporate, legal, finance, and secretarial domains. So with privilege, we invite Shujath sir, Shujath Bin Ali, as an expert of the speakers for today's session. Welcome, sir. So Shujath Bin Ali is a company secretary by profession and has held several leadership positions during his professional journey. He was former chairman of Hyderabad chapter, and I recollect that when I was completing my MSOP, he was the chairman of Hyderabad chapter. Currently, he is associated with Fourth Energy Partner Limited as a chief legal officer, and continues active contribution across multiple professional domains. So what I personally admire about Sir, although he comes from a secretarial background, company secretarial background, he has always gone beyond the conventional secretarial practice and explored diverse areas of knowledge and leadership. In many ways, he is an inspiration to the professionals, especially company secretaries, demonstrating that how profession is not just limited to compliance alone, but can evolve into a broader strategic and emerging domains. Sir regularly speaks on a variety of contemporary subjects and also develop a keen interest in artificial intelligence and its practical application in professional work. So we therefore delighted to have Shujath sir with us on this particular topic, AI for professionals. Sir, very warm welcome, sir. Thank you for joining, and
Thank
over to you,
you.
sir.
Thanks, Sandeep. I would like to, have the format, based on that, I think we can do. Only one point was that, recently Institute of Company Secretaries also have started an AI task force, in the sense that, how Institute can leverage AI, be it for the members, be it for the students, or, come up with some of the tools and all of those aspects. So I think I'm part of the ICSA AI task force as well, getting some thoughts. So maybe at some point we'll also talk about how the institute is planning and with respect to the company secretary profession as well. But yeah, you are the moderator, so I'm at your disposal, Sandeep.
Sure, sir. So this session will be like an interactive session. So what we have done, our team has curated some questions, and I believe that these questions will help for this entire session. So to for any if they are facing any issues or like that. So before we initiate, sir, I just wanted to understand what is AI. Very basic understanding of AI. Who for a non-tech background.
First of all, it's any other technology only. A lot of people think that, AI is a completely new technology, but machine learning, AI has been there, from the beginning. What has really developed is the form and approach. So if you in a simple term, I think what AI does is it learns patterns, process informations, and it assists humans in multiple tasks. Like whatever a human being can do. I mean, in a simple example, if imagine there is one intern or one of the employees, right, who does data processing, thinking, basic drafting and all that stuff. So after 1 year of service, I think you can actually expect the person to do some basic stuff of work. In AI, it so happens that it's get trained on multiple data. In putting in a simple form, uh, let's say you put the entire the Companies Act, all Ramaya treatise, all the legal precedents at one place. And adding to that, let's say if Sandeep has been working in R&A for last 10 years, let's say, right, the entire work product and all is there as part of that data. You can start deriving information, so it can understand pattern, it can process the information. So that's a very simple example. It's all about what AI does is it identifies the data, analyzes it, learns the pattern, process it, and also predicts what could be the ideal solution based on the data itself, whatever was fed to it. I'll get into a little bit more deep dive as well. A simple example of chat gpt, if you see, chat gpt is nothing but pura Google ko aap, you bundle the whole stuff, and alongside that you put a lot of other materials, other books and all, and you created a gpt model, and you start interacting with it. So I mean, it gives the answers, it thinks, it processes information based on that particular data.
So understood, sir. But what I'm trying to ask you is, suppose right now, earlier, if you see the traditional approach, we generally, if I have any question, then I
Hmm.
identify in my firm that who will be answering this question. Suppose if it is with respect to merger and acquisition, I know that I have to go to this guy. Or if you go to a traditional approach, you do Google, and whatever articles you get based on that, you form an opinion. But in case of AI, ChatGPT, and other apps, you get the information instantly. But I wanted to understand what exactly happens at the back end of the AI, so that we can understand what needs to be asked. The reason why I'm asking is this, because if there are five questions and five people questions, and the chat gpt can give you an answer differently. Maybe the question may frame it differently, or the prompt may be framed differently, but the answers will be different. So or maybe if you go to different like chat gpt and claude, if you ask the same question in different domains, the answer will be different. So I want to understand what exactly happens at the back end of ai, so that the professionals can ask the proper question.
Yeah, so I mean, you actually hit the nail directly much early on in terms of
Okay.
prompt engineering and context engineering. See, I mean, you can ask a very simple question about, okay, what are the provisions of deposit rules or something like that, right? The context engineering and the prompt engineering would be the based on the question what you ask. For example, a simple thing could be, do a deep dive analysis of the provisions with respect to the latest case laws. That could be one. Or sometimes you can actually ask a question in terms of, imagine if you are a 20-year old senior tenured professional, how would you analyze this, right? So the same point, I mean, the based on the prompt or based on the context, how you putting, the whole answers can be completely different. Sometimes you may give a prompt saying that I need to explain a complex insider trading regulations to the board. I have only 5 minutes time. I need a one page or something, right? Based and explain like we are explaining to a simple layman. Based on these prompts, I think the answers would be completely different. So these prompts make the AI tool to think in a different manner and give you exactly what you want. Just like, again, I mean, you have one of your associate. I mean, I faced this early on in my career, where my chairman used to tell, okay, you need to explain this transaction, you have only 5 minutes, and don't speak all corporate all complicated language, simple bhasha mein chahiye, just give me one pager,
Hmm.
right? So then you go and think okay, the audience is only the business folk. They are not legal people. Unko chahiye kya? Okay, they need to simple language. All of the thought process, what we go ahead and then we prepare a one-pager note or a one-pager slide or exactly whatever you want. I think the same kind of instructions is what we give to the AI based, on the context. So if at all anything which our professionals we need to learn, that is the context engineering and the prompt engineering. I have one slide I want to show it to you so that will uh, make this context engineering part little well. Just let me know if you can
I
see
have
it.
allowed sharing. Yeah. Yeah, we
One
can
second.
see.
See. So
Prompt engineering.
these are all the examples of some prompts. For example, human expertise mode. One of the challenges which I definitely face because I use AI
Sir, one
extensively.
thing, very
Yeah.
prompt is a question, right?
Yes, prompt is a question. That's exactly what you are asking to the tool. I mean, before you want any output, that's the input what you are giving.
Because this language we never, I mean, after ChatGPT only came, we listened to this word prompt. Earlier it was not there,
Correct.
right? Yeah,
Prompt is nothing but an input. I mean, if
input
you need something, you give an input. So you're prompting the other person to respond. So that is the
right.
reason it's called as prompt.
In the technical language. Okay.
Correct. So when you in AI tool you type it. So typically you will ask a very simple question. But if you want a different answer, a much better answer, see for first example, answer my question like a real human expert with 10 plus years experience in this field. Avoid textbook explanations. Give lived experiences, mistakes, human nuance, and practical examples, and then ask that question. The whole response will be completely different just by using this particular prompt. Next example is again lot of time one of the challenges which we talk about AI is that it doesn't understand the emotion part of it and all those aspects. Imagine a particular query is with respect to the human dynamics and all. I mean, sometimes you are trying to resolve a dispute and how do you exactly find some solution. So I wanted to answer like a human who deeply understand emotional struggle, motivation, and context, speak naturally, and explain in a relatable tone. These are all simple examples. So I mean, based on this, the whole answer can be completely different, right? I mean, give me a tabular analysis, right? Or give me in a such a manner that there is no other challenge in it. So you can keep on reiterating the stuff and you can refine. The bigger challenge is blindly asking a simple question, whatever primarily what we have, that will not be sufficient. That will not give you a desired result. The whole parameter can change. I'll tell you an example. So recently, there was one red petition which we were working on, right? And we're trying to, redefine the whole litigation and all. And when we use the petition, and what we tried to do was imagine if you are the opponent party, what are the points which you will really kill? Imagine if you are a 30-year-old senior, tenured senior counsel, what value add can you add? Assuming this particular writ petition and all, if is placed before the judge, what are the things which he may like, right? So based on that questions and all, I think the answers and the response can be completely different. So these are again examples. I mean, real life situation. Pretend you lived this situation personally, learn from it. Now you're sharing wisdom. So I mean, based on what we need, I think the whole response can be completely different. Explain to me like a human like story approach. I mean, for example, right now I'm working in a renewable energy space. Sometimes I get confused in terms of some technicalities and all. I'll be like, okay, but explain to me like a 10-year person. मेरे को समझना है कि what is the the resistance, conductors, transformers, and all some of the technical aspects of it. So explain to me like a friend or deep human reasoning mode. I think these are all various aspects, and that is something what we can learn. And the reason why the answers will be completely different is largely because of the prompts, largely because of the context what we set. And again, the mistake people make is asking for human tone. Apart from human tone, we need to ask human thinking. So perspective is everything. So if you want better answers, I think we need to give the context, experiences, and get the best out of it. Then I think the magic really happens. I just thought of giving this aspect, because one of the challenges today which we are facing is, I mean, I've seen some of my team members in previous in other organizations and all. Whenever any work product comes in, the first lens I have is ये AI से तो बना नहीं है, right?
Mhm.
And using as is, without any the value add, without any context and all that stuff, will look very textbookish, and easily anyone can find out. So the challenge for the professionals would be, while we have to use AI, using it in a smart manner, in a contextual manner, in a manner where we use our experience. A 5 years experienced person can add that elements of it. A 30-year-old person will exactly know what right questions need to ask, right context, and based on that, I think the input can be achieved. So this is something which I keep on
Understood.
working on. So, and I think the one area which all of us have to start learning is the prompt engineering or the context engineering. Yeah.
Asking the right question in the right context.
Exactly. And I think that is a difference, right? A senior person will definitely ask the right question. I mean, there was one example which said, I mean, I'm sure you would have heard about a ship, a ship technician. I think what happened was, one ship was not able to work properly, and people tried for so many, technicians, they were not able to solve. But they got one senior person, and I think he just took 5 minutes and hit at a right place and got the problem resolved and charged huge bomb. And I think the client was asking, I mean, you just did 5 minutes of work, and how can we charge more? And I think he answered that, you know, uh, 30 years of experience taught him to track and identify where exactly the problem is and how to hit on the right place. So I think when we as a professionals are using AI, so I think based on our experience and the wisdom, we can best utilize the AI. Not all can use the AI. If an intern, he may use it in a different manner. A 5-year-old will use differently. 10-year-old will be using differently. A 30-year or 10-year-old person will use completely a different manner.
Understood, sir. But one thing, sir, what exactly it extracts? Suppose if I ask a question, and if I ask a question that you think in a like a 30 years experience, a professional, where does it go? Does it go to any article or any? How does it think?
It has, for example, simple example of a,
The reason why
off
I'm
the
asking,
shelf.
sir, one minute, sir. The reason why I'm
Sure.
asking is because sometimes AI gives a wrong answer also, and that I think it is called as hallucination
Yes.
in
Yes.
AI. So what happens then? Why this wrong answers comes, and how does it extract the information and deliver it to us?
See, as a
Maybe, Sujat, maybe his question is what is the input on which the system will rely in getting the answers? Maybe
yeah.
input is what he's asking.
See, for example, right now, open self related item, chat GPT, it's all the entire internet is fed into that. Alongside that, some, database and research material is already there at the back end, right? All the articles or whatever we talk, the entire internet is there. For example, if you type in chat GPT and certain aspect, it will go and pick from the internet sources only. It may also pick some source from the ICSI website. So the entire web is something used for the chat GPT. This is for the traditional AIs. Now let me talk about an important point for the professionals, because you are using professional examples. None of the professional consulting firms will use blindly the shelf, the chat GPT or Claude or Gemini or Copilot and all that stuff. They all use enterprise AI tools. Enterprise AI tools are custom made, right? They will use some of these base models, but add lot of material. For example, I take the base model, then I add Manupatra, LexisNexis, and SEC Online, and a lot of other databases, and other knowledge material, and feed into that. Alongside that, let's say R&A is doing that. R&A, what we will do, I mean, to say TK, we are from 25, 30 years, and we have a lot of database, a lot of learnings already. On top of all these things, they put the existing knowledge management material of the firm also in it. So when a query is asked, it goes and checks all of these
from that
database.
database.
So, yeah. Maybe Shujath, one point I wanted to add, just tell me whether that is right or not. As far as the question Sandeep was asking, input versus output. So, as you rightly said, the data, I mean, other than enterprise models, entire internet data will be captured for giving an answer, correct?
Right.
But there are situations where, you will get direct answers, where you would not get answers. Just like professionals, obviously, we don't get answers. We have to pay based on some assumptions and interpretation. That is how we give opinions on case-to-case basis. So first case is clear, where you have direct answers from the book or articles or material judgments, directly it will pull out. Second situation is there where hallucination comes in, where assumptions are not there. It depends upon whatever other assumptions are made in the portal. Based on that assumptions, results are coming up. Is it right?
Absolutely. See, because at the end of the day, while we are talking about the product, what it gives, in my view, is a base draft or basic material.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely, the next layers is the human judgment, human verification, all those aspects. In a way that it saves that much of a time. For example, if
Absolutely.
you have to read a book or read an article, read the rule, read the circular, and all, to collate all that information at one place and read along with the facts, whatever time it may take, it will reduce that time. And the hallucination is because of some of these aspects. It is not fully effective because so far these are all general AIs. When you talk about ChatGPT or Claude and all, they're not the legal or a governance or a compliance related AIs. Claude has come up with a legal plugin and all that stuff. But when it comes to enterprise level, I mean, because I keep speaking to a lot of general counsel, chief legal officer, compliance officers, and all of that. When it comes to the professional use within the organization, none of them use these AIs. Even if you have to pay something, they all focus on the enterprise level AI. That itself is a huge industry, where there are companies like Jurisphere, Legora, and Lexis AI. I mean, there are so many companies which are there, which are custom building the AIs. Of course, some base of GPT model of OpenAI and all, they may take it, or the base models. But on that model, this is called as stack. On that model, they just further develop more databases. Then they take the enterprise level data. For example, Aditya Birla Group, general counsel was speaking to me, they developed something similar. They gave it a new name and they built the stack, base stack, then additional databases. Then they got the entire knowledge management of Aditya Birla Group of last 30 years into that. Then they started testing on it. In spite of that, ultimately that risk of hallucination and all that stuff would be there, and that is the reason it says that, I mean, that can't be a final work product because professionals are responsible. So I would say maybe it should start with 25% or 50% of the the work product can be there, but beyond that, I think that editing part is needed. So I'll give one example. Earlier, for some of my presentations and all that stuff, I mean, I used to have interns and other stuff to do some basic research. I mean, tab kya hota tha? I mean, you had to go to multiple websites. Typical research may Google may you get one article, so 5, 10, 15 articles over there, and they used to read 15 articles, pick best of it, then put into one paper and all. But now, I mean, you really don't need that. I mean, if your questioning is right, it can go across all the 15 websites and give you exactly one talking point.
Understood. So I think understanding of AI, it's the prompt should be proper, the context should be proper, and also you should what exactly it is not required. So you have to give the strict prompts that you should not go there, or you should pick up from the genuine articles or the sourced articles, right? And one more thing, sir, is it depends when is the question, whereas if the because if you see ChatGPT, there are premium version also, free version also. If there is any difference on that, is there, based on this, there is an hallucination if it is a free version.
Not really, free version, all it will not stop, it will not work properly in the sense that, there is a limit. You will say
Right.
daily token limit is exhausted and all that stuff. See, I mean, if it has to be perfect at a professional level, then it has to be a, custom built, for the company. I'll give an example. There is an enterprise tool called Microsoft, 365 Copilot. I mean,
Right.
I am using that in my current company. what it does is, I mean, it's an enterprise level Microsoft system. What you guys see in the market is a Copilot, which is there. But Microsoft 365 Copilot is an enterprise AI tool which connects all the company's servers, OneDrive, emails, Teams meeting, and all that stuff. And it can pull the information and start answering and all. That enterprise AI versions are definitely much better, because of the tools and all, and also because of the little bit of customization and enterprise related tool. So I think if you ask me today, I mean, that everyone will tell there is a hallucination risk. One needs to be careful of. I mean, I don't think so. Anyone has reached a situation where they can blindly assume that there is no hallucination and go and give the work product. I myself have faced some of those stuff as well. I tried to work on some of the interpretation related stuff. On when it comes to the interpretations and other stuff, it tends to hallucinate. So that aspect is definitely there. I'll give one example of a live case of how it was useful, because I mean I was supposed to join a call. I got a short notice call. I was supposed to brief a senior counsel and law firm, and the whole petition was some 1,000 pages, and I had only 30 minutes time. 30 minutes time mein, how would you read the
Right.
matter, facts, and all that stuff? And you are supposed to join a call and add some value, because at the end of the day, you need to add some value, right? Although you have the firm briefing guy and senior counsel, I mean, from a company standpoint, there should be some 3 to 4 key points. So I had to immediately use an enterprise tool and get to know the quick summarization of facts, chronology of events, what are the strong points, what are the weak points. Think from a perspective of the judge, think from a perspective of the other side, and some of the precedents which are not so weak, and ultimately 4 or 5 points I was able to get. And it so happened that the council and the law firm both agreed, yes, these 5 points are important. I think we need to enhance the document. So
Right.
imagine in a normal scenario, it was not possible
Not possible.
in such a short notice to read, understand a case, and be able to add some value. That was possible only because of some tools. So, yeah.
That's a very good example, sir. Actually, that brings to my next question. Actually, AI use cases. So we generally rely use for drafting the agreements, reports, research, and analysis, and various communications. Right. So, what do you suggest for a AI for a professional? How to use and in which area he should use it?
See, I think the use cases are so many. We talked about drafting, summarization. I think the best use, I mean,
Research.
which is a research related stuff. I mean, in terms of uh, researching a particular topic, I think that is of the number one use case. The analysis part, the drafting, the summarization related point which you just talked about, and in making some the PowerPoint related presentations, chronology of events. See, I think use cases are right now pretty broad. In terms of compliance, I'll tell you the future as well. What all
Mm.
potential use cases are. We talked about the basic stuff. Potential use cases are even in the compliance management. In the compliance management tool, if there is an AI, automatically it can go and find out, what compliances are required, whether compliance is done or not. It can run an automatic, audit check as well. So compliance management is one use case. Some of the organizations are using risk management as well. So all companies risk registers are connected, and also some live data is also feed in, so that company has a dynamic risk environment. Litigation management is another big use case. Imagine an organization has multiple, thousands of legal cases, multiple documents, and all that stuff. How do they, manage all those cases, and preparing those summaries, preparing those litigation updates, be it for the banker, be it for the board, and all that stuff. So litigation management is one area. Companies with intellectual properties who has a lot of trademarks and patents and all that stuff. I mean, how do they use for the intellectual property related management, uh, audit, so forensic aspect. See,
Mm.
audits are all happening manually, but if they use some AI and use that some of the transactions and all can automatically be found out, based on certain programming and all that stuff. So even in the internal audit or the forensic they are using, big case is also the due diligence part. I've seen some of the companies and law firms have started using some of the AI enterprise AI tools for the the due diligence, where they have a lot of data. So where you have litigation data, you have contracts data, you have compliance related information and all that stuff. So again, using the right prompts and other aspects, getting those the red flags coming out. So typically at this point of a time, every company is using some of these as a proof of concept. For example, there is something called contract management. A lot of companies who do day-to-day contracts, they don't want to draft a contract, review and all. They just wanted to have a standard template, define a playbook saying that this is my acceptable position, level 1, level 2, level 3, and based on that they define the delegation of authority, so that and automatically a contract can be signed without much involvement. So for the contract management also, this AI tool can be used. And most of the time business guys needs to do a lot of comparison. For example, in an EPC and O&M scenario, you need to do a change in law clause. I mean, we have multiple contracts, but imagine there is a change in law, and if you need to trigger a claim, you have like 200, 300 contracts, right? At a click of a button, if you have the contract management tool, it will say these are all the list of the clients, and this is a change of clause related the provisions and the summary. Similarly, on termination related provisions, whatever clauses you have, if you want to get some quick summary, I think for the contract management also is one use case. Board meetings also is one case. I've seen one of the boards. Earlier they were using softwares like DES and Board Advantage and all of Board Pack and all. But now there are new tools coming in wherein the boards are using those AI tools, in the sense that, imagine, they're trying to synthesize the data whatever company is giving in, and actually asking, okay, what are the challenges in this, what are the governance issues, or what kind of a questions they need to ask. Of course, I mean, that's in every advanced level, but boards also can start thinking in terms of how they can use the AI in terms of enhancing the governance, because asking those right questions. Okay, what are the questions they need to ask for that particular material, if there are RPT related items. So I mean, what kind of a questions they can ask to the board. And some of the information can be linked to the the company systems, and they can pull the direct information also. So that is the next level of use case, which can definitely happen at a board level and at a, legal compliance. So I think from that standpoint, I think use cases are multiple. So wherever there is a data, wherever there is a need to analyze certain aspect of it, wherever we need to form an opinion or take a decision, if not at a higher level, at least it can give reasonable stuff. I mean, I have seen one example where I'll not name the company, but some I mean, I've known that one of the directors, what he was doing was, I mean, he had all the board packs. He was actually using the normal chat GPT and pura board deck in attached kar diya. And he was trying to ask the questions. Okay, what tough questions I can ask to the CFO? What are some of the governance issues which can pose risk to the company? And these kind of prompts he was giving, and so he was getting multiple inputs on each agenda item, kya kya puchna hai and all that stuff. Although that's one good use case, I think I softly explained, see, had it been an enterprise AI, you can use, but in a off the shelf related AI tools, it is not at all recommended at all, because ultimately the data confidentiality risk is there. So one of the bigger challenge all our professionals are actually doing, for basic research is fine, but you can't put company facts, company related documents, confidential documents in the standard AI tools. That is a big risk, because at the end of the day, some of this data will go there, and it is useful for the system to learn. I mean, there one such example happened, live case. One tender department guy, what he did, he had the whole Excel file of all tender documentation, pricing, and everything. Because they wanted to format the file, he attached that format, attached the file in the system, right? And it so happened that he got the formatting, but what happened was some other person was trying to search something about that company, and they actually were able to get this information. So financial MIS, right? There is a PPT. Okay, chalo, let us make it beautiful. Karke, I mean, you attach that financial MIS into the any of these tools. What can actually happen is this, the confidential information gets into the, chat GPTs and all that stuff, and system can learn, and there is a confidentiality risk. Although these tools will say, no, 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 we don't learn and all, but that's a huge risk. So again, the answer to that is for any confidential documents or client related specific work using conventional standard tools like whatever you get chat gpt, even if it is a paid version of $20 and all that stuff, that is still not recommended. Only the enterprise tools uh, which are there wherein you get information from outside, but internal information will not go out. Those kind of a tools only are uh, you know strong for any confidential client related work. I mean, that's a big risk actually, and that is the reason companies are working on some standard usage policies. So I would strongly recommend all the firms, whether it is law firms or PCS or anything, while you may want to encourage a clearly mention ki boss ye karna hai, these are the things you can't do it, and put some simple guidelines is very important, because the younger generation are more
More
prone
into
and
this. Yeah.
Tempted to use
tempted
the
to
AI search
use
and get
the
good
tool.
answers.
So I think these safeguards are
Sir,
required.
so
Sandeep,
you
I have
suggest
one
you
question. Can I go ahead once?
yeah, please.
There are some questions in the chat GPT, Sandeep. You
Yeah.
just
So
check.
before
Yeah.
that, just on the
I
connecting point which Shujath sir has said, so what is the risk of AI keeping in view DP Act, the Data Protection Act? How risky it is from the context of Data Protection Act, which was recently passed?
Yeah. See, simple the point of, for Data Protection Act, again, is a different topic altogether. For, every company has to comply with the DPDP Act, in the sense that, whatever sensitive data the company has, it needs to know how it is, storing, how it is treating, how it is sharing, all those aspects. So the simple example I can share, imagine a company has a, data which has the names, date of birth, Aadhaar cards and all that stuff, right? Or for that matter, employee data, yeah, let's say, and you are, you're trying to find out some simple analysis of tenure and all, and you used the standard chat GPT and all, you're actually violating the DPDP Act by sharing the data to a tool, right? Which is not an enterprise AI, right? Uh, so that's a clear cut, DPDP violation. So from that standpoint, again, I've used the word confidentiality broadly, but your point is correct. Not only confidentiality, but data protection guidelines also equally important. Imagine if you enter into a contract with a client, right? And it could be a professional services. If it is an agreement with a US company or a Europe company, you will see a DPDP clause. It will say, I am giving you this information, including my director name, father name, and all that stuff, only for the purpose of required stuff. Now, don't use this information and do something. You're clearly violating not only the contract but also the DPDP Act of India and other stuff as well. So I think my point was also not only confidentiality but also data protection as well as applicable. Yeah.
So
Again, even if it's using for enterprise wide also, it is important that your privacy policy mentions those aspects also. Whatever you want to use it for, I think that should be there in the privacy policy, because this is one question. Some of the companies may want to use that data for consumer behavior and pattern, all that stuff. So if you are using the data for certain purpose, take the consent, and also your privacy policy should clearly mention this aspect.
So one more thing, sir. In case
That's a
suppose
different
if there
topic,
is a
Sandeep. Sorry,
yeah,
data protection is a
no, no,
very
no.
different topic. I got digressed, but that's it.
That is also one of our segment, but you started early. So good, sir. What you said that there should be a policy internally by either a company or a firm. There should be a policy what need to be entered into basic tools, and suppose if there is a confidential agreement or something like that. If you have any questions, there should be a specific part of that question. Not you should not dump the entire agreement or details into the portal, right?
No,
So
Sandeep, only one point I was just thinking. I mean, when we were pre-call, we did not discuss this. Lot of times, this terms comes like artificial intelligence. So we had already talked about. Gen AI is also a term which we keep hearing a lot. So
right,
Chat GPT, Claude, Gemini, all these are an example of Gen AI. Means it can generate new data. So similarly, there are a lot of Gen AI tools which we can use. For example, there's a tool called Gamma which can actually prepare a lot of PPTs.
yeah.
There is a tool called Canva. So it's not only about the data side of it. There's a lot of creative element which can create images, which can create videos, right? It can, create, a lot of research related stuff. There is a tool called Notebook LLM. Earlier I used to see a lot of,
It's a Google one, right? From
yeah,
Google.
Google's one, Notebook LM. If you see a YouTube video, it will take 30 minutes, 40 minutes time today. Okay. Abhi, imagine if you don't have that much of a time. What you can do, you can use Notebook LLM and give the YouTube link. It will give you the whole script. Not only that, imagine if you want to do a research on a particular topic, let's say data protection, right? What you will do, you will go and pick some good articles and give it there, and also a couple of YouTube videos link, and then you can actually create whatever speaking notes. Means it can go and do research across videos, across audios, across the internet, across the multiple other sources, and then give you what you want. So that is also one more tool called Notebook, LM, and of course for the English language and Grammarly and all. All those proofreading related tools are there. So these are all Gen AI tools. So one example could be this live example. A company secretary had to prepare a training course on insider trading. Okay. So now conventionally, if you want to do training, you can do live trainings, and also imagine if you want to train a particular topic across India, multiple companies and all. How it is possible? It may be really difficult. So what the person can do, actually can create his own video, right? Or even if it is not a video, by simple posting some existing videos and giving the content, it can actually create a video as if the person is
This
giving
is
this
in
whole
Notebook
speech
LM.
and all that stuff. Huh?
This is in Notebook LM.
No, this is Mid Journey or
Yeah.
Sora, and there are a lot of video making tools also are there.
Because I have seen in Notebook LM, you can create a podcast also. You can give the information, and it will be create in such a way that you are speaking and another person is speaking. There is an interactive session of a podcast.
Correct. And apart from that, meeting summary tools. Daily leadership team, we have a Teams meeting. But what recently we are using a tool called Granola, where automatically in that chat, the entire summary and meeting minutes and all are all captured. So people, those who are not attending, automatically. I think that is a very common tool. I'm sure you are all using, the brief, quarterly, and all that stuff. Even for all summarization of the meetings, and even Zoom also has a tool called Companion and all of that stuff. I think that's also one of the good use cases in the team environment. Imagine there is a knowledge management, exercise or discussion happening.
1 minute.
Mute that participant.
Yeah, I'm muting.
So there is one name called, you could have heard, AGI. We talked about Gen AI. This is example, but AGI is the term which is most dreaded. Artificial general intelligence. See, artificial general intelligence means it can think like a human. It means almost like a human being. So the Gen AI and all is based on the input, based on the data, based on the learning, whatever we are giving. But the next development, what I've heard, is the AGI. Means it can
AGI.
actually think like human being, which is what is mostly dreaded. It means it can create one more Sandeep. If you, give the whole, knowledge of Sandeep and put that into that character, right? It can,
Speak like me.
speak like you, think
Think
like
like
you, and
me.
all that is what is dreaded when people talk about will AI replace professionals and all. And there's one more dreaded factor is like ASI, it is artificial super intelligence. It means thinking beyond human. So whenever we hear about these threat factors, it is this AGI and ASI. That is something which can happen in future. We all have to wait and watch. There was an article which I was studying. It said that there's going to be some company which is actually created a board member kind of a person, wherein the entire 200 years of 200 independent directors intelligence and multiple stuff is used to develop that model. And actually that model is there along with the board members also. They've just experimented it and
Virtual
see
director.
what kind of inputs are coming. So imagine if that kind of a thing happen, then we start worrying that okay, whether the whole profession can be replaced and all. I mean, again, this is theoretical at this point of a time. Some experiments is happening, but whenever we talk about this worry factor, it is this AGI and the ASI which is being worried. So if you see the recent one, Oracle, see the programming and coding and all, I think that got completely replaced because even ChatGPT with a basic model, they have tools like Codex and all. So that is the one factor whenever we talk about these threats.
Understood, sir. So in case if we move ahead to the next segment, with respect to our professionals, what kind of like apps or kind of like if you want to prepare the minutes or the basic clerical works, is there is any specific app where you can consolidate and use this app and if the
Yeah, I mean,
registers are there, minutes are there, that can be done in a way, it
yeah.
can be structured or organized in a way.
Yes, I think a simple one more example is that which I know some of the practicing company secretaries have done. They have developed is that I mean because they have multiple clients and each client if they have so many subsidiary companies and or if they are outsourced and if they're maintaining the data, right? I mean the whole data retrieval takes a lot of time. You know, preparing a particular form, right? Or getting information from multiple sources, right? So that is one use case a firm has used. But I don't know that there's a specific tools right now. What's happening, there are a lot of AI companies. You just go and tell your problem, they will come and create a solution for you. Right? I mean, I know
Customized.
the tools were customized ones. I mean, for the large diligence and all, I think these tools like I mentioned, Legora or Jurisphere, right, or Harvey and all, those are all very high-end related work. But from a company secretary standpoint, I think there are a lot of new, companies that actually started, working and giving a tool for you. So it can all be like basic research, document formatting, compliance calendars, right? Standard drafting, summaries, checklists, and all these workflow reminders, right? Knowledge management and all of these use cases, which can be done. See, in future, there is something called agentic AI may happen. This is some term which possibly you would have heard.
Yes.
Agentic AI means, things automatically ho jayega, in the sense that if MCA permits, right, a form
Filling the
can
form.
be prepared and automatically it can go and file on its own. A simple example of agentic AI is like imagine if today I have to travel somewhere, I first go and do make my trip. I'll check the options, hotel options I will check, some taxi options I will check. I'll do a comparison, cost and all, timings and all, my budget and all. Then I start making bookings and making all those payments. Agentic AI, which a lot of people are working, will be like you will simply tell I need to go to Bombay on so and so date from so and so date. I prefer only Air India, and this is my budget, and this is these are the only hotels I give the stuff, and you give exact stuff, and you will say go ahead. Then automatically it will go search, find, it
Book
will
the
go
ticket,
book it, make the payment also, and you will
make the
get the
payment.
ticket. Similarly, in expense reimbursements, also companies may happen. Typically, expense reimbursement take a lot of time. But a company which is using agentic AI, the person will give the expenditure form, all the vouchers, everything. Based on the rules, based on the codes of the policies, it will check whether it is eligible or not. And automatically it will go to the next level. workflow, then it will go to the finance department, accounting happens. Wahan se it will go to the treasury team, bank account is of the employees are already there, the payment also will happen. It means the AI will act like an agent, where earlier you had multiple workflows. Means the moment you put a claim, within few minutes there is a possibility that you will see the amount crediting to your bank account. That's the agentic AI. So again, a lot of companies which are working in multiple departments. See, there is a lot of dependency, right? Finance, HR, EHS, safety, and all of that stuff. Company secretaries have to work with multiple departments. So as they are enhancing their, the AI tools, this agentic AI also can come up, wherein it means that again, a lot of these things are futuristic. I mean, today if you need to prepare a board deck and all, you will have to go and ask finance guy, "Yaar, ye de do." Marketing may you will have to ask. You have to ask multiple things. So when you have used some of these tools, I think things can be much seamless, and you have a very robust live information system. So I think a lot of use cases are there, Sandeep. I mean, I'm a student of this subject, so I mean, I'm just sharing, whatever I keep hearing from people and reading. So in next 5 to 10 years, I think all of these things may happen. And one of the strong board conversation today, which is happening, if you see across world, the every board is challenging the management how you can leverage AI to enhance the profit, to reduce the cost, to give a best experience to the consumer, and have a best products. I think that's the challenge which boards are posing to the management, and they need to come back with the plan and getting that investments approved. And involving, it's not only how finance department is using, HR department is using, nahi, at an organization level. I think that's the bigger conversation which is happening, and the management is coming and asking company secretary, coming and asking legal department, tell me an use case as to how you can use it so that efficiency is increased and maybe costs also can go down, and you can free up some time for some strategic work. So imagine we all do work at three level, at an administrative level, at a tactical level, at a strategic level. If administrative level certain things can be done through this technology, you loosen up your time for the tactical and strategic part, and that is a challenge being posed by the boards to the management.
Understood. I think the agentic AI, what you told, that would be very grateful if it applies to MCA. Which generally, the time we are consuming for filing the forms and tackling with MCA with this 20 with V3, it would be
I think it
helpful.
can happen. I mean, in my view,
Um,
I think that part can definitely happen. You know.
Sir, one thing I want to know from your end, what do you advise to the company secretaries? See, now in this generation, like if you simply put anything in ChatGPT or any AI tool where you can get the complete procedure. So even the clients who are who want to come to you for consultancy and all, they come prepared, right?
Yes.
They know that what exactly, and they come and they sometimes they test you as well, and they want to otherwise they know that this is the process, I want this. So for
Hmm.
a company secretary, what do you suggest, how to uh, proceed for, or to tackle this kind of
No, I would say that, I mean, this is a one bigger challenge because, today, as you rightly mentioned, everyone is, coming, prepared before they even attending, some meetings. So, I think what value we can add is what they can't think. See, I think there's thinking part they can't do. We can add that layer of, what can go wrong, what is the worst scenario, right? What are the liabilities can be mitigated, right? How fast it can be done. I think they may simply do a very basic stuff, but that experience, that wisdom and all, I mean, those kind of things they can definitely not do. So I think we just need to add that kind of a value to the clients. And if you ask me about advice, a lot of people, you see a very different perspectives. There are some people who will say, I know some of the senior leaders and all, they will say, no, boss, I don't want to use AI at all. That is absolutely ridiculous.
True.
Hallucination, pata nahi, all that stuff. My cognitive abilities are getting impacted. Brain fog may come, dependency may ho raha, and all this stuff. I still don't want to use it. I want to do conventional stuff only, right? And there are another spectrum where people are like blindly using the tools with, and are just assuming that is the right product. I think the answer lies somewhere in between, where you use your intelligence, wisdom, experience, and add that layer to the tool, and use to the best of your advantage. I think that's the the sweet spot. And to the cliched question of whether AI will replace professionals or whether AI will replace company secretaries and all that, so that is one common question. I think the answer, again, that would be cliched, is a professional who is using AI will definitely replace a professional who is not using. Today, let's say if I'm interviewing a candidate, let's say company secretaries only, I get one candidate who will say about, I don't know about any tools, मुझे पता नहीं है. I mean, we have this conversation, and if he's not able to add any value to the conversation, and let's say there's one more person who is able to have a similar conversation, naturally my inclination would be to take that person, because I may want to implement some tools. You need a person who understands governance, risk, compliance, and also the tech element of it, the AI part of it, because I want to implement it. So naturally, that person with the AI literacy and knowledge of application of right tools, having that passion, will definitely gain a much better advantage. I'm sure same thing with the firms also, right?
What you're trying to say, it's no more, it's only about the knowledge, because our knowledge is everywhere. You need to be in the right position, and to understand, along with that, you go with the technology as well, grow with
Yeah,
the
see,
technology.
that's exactly. I mean, because the base knowledge is there. See, I
Right.
mean, again, the whole part of the knowledge about the law part and all is there. I mean, anyone can find the same stuff. I think the value add part is what we need to, the focus on. And this is the context, I was mentioning about the prompt engineering context, and, all that thinking element, convert that into the prompts and the context, and give the best product. Otherwise, our work, how the work product will be different. So I think we still have that stuff. See, ultimately, accountability, responsibility is with a professional only, right? A machine cannot be responsible for any opinion or any work product. Professionals are only responsible till the time, the assurance which has to be given, the responsibility, accountability, and all. I think the professional will definitely have an edge. But the if you're using these tools, I think you save up a lot of time, and enhance those efficiencies and all, and give a much better solutions, is what I feel.
Understood, sir. Sir, is there any courses? You told that there is a course on AI will be offered by
Yeah.
ICSI Division, but there are any other third-party courses also you suggest that the company secretary should do this kind of course to understand AI better?
Yeah. See, firstly, most of the tools, like for example, OpenAI, they are doing a lot of free courses. You just need to go and enroll. Google is doing its own free courses. Copilot. I mean, this is to understand base level. Whatever we discussed, I think it is more like a trailer level. But if you just go to some of these, whether it's Amazon or the Google or OpenAI or Microsoft and all that stuff, they're all doing some of the free courses, easily 3 to 4 hours stuff. And you have the you have this YouTube podcast and all. There's a lot of stuff is there, and some of these things are giving free certificates as well. So to start with, I think that is sufficient. But let's say if you're done with these free courses, and if you're passionate to do a little bit more, then some of these management institutes, engineering institutes, whether it is IITs or IIMs, or for that matter, ICSI is coming up with a 3-day certificate course very soon, alongside some of the other universities. I think that's something will definitely be useful. But more importantly, I think it's the day-to-day learning. I think the best is the trial and error method, which can definitely be useful. For example, recently I took Claude. I mean, I did not had much of a knowledge around Claude. I mean, all I tried to do was to see how I can use, within the system. So apparently, Claude has. We took a Claude Enterprise edition. I always need to tell that it can actually link your entire computer, all data in it. You don't need to post any document, right? So it can actually go through all the data, and it can give you the information as well. right? So I mean, it's all about trial and error kind of stuff, practice, and doing some projects and doing some courses and all that stuff. I think that's the approach. You can have a structured learning, unstructured learning, both as well. But see, we are not learning about coding, and a lot of people say, "Yeah, we are not engineers." Yes,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, if I go for a course offered by ICSI, what exactly I'm going to learn? Is it prompt engineering or what exactly
No,
it
I
entails?
think it's going to be a mix up. For example, what is the basic AI and all that stuff. Then again, AI and finance use cases, how it will be, and AI and risk management, how do you integrate ESG reporting and how you can leverage AI related tools, right?
Hmm.
Or the next thing
I
could
think
be.
ICAI has already offered some kind of course on AI.
Yes, I think so.
Started.
ICA is already done.
There
And
is
they've
something
also
in the site.
launched something called ICAI.GPT. It means that they've given a GPT kind of a stuff for all their students so that they can learn from that. I mean, what they did, they put all that material and all that whatever magazines and articles, knowledge management stuff into one GPT and gave to the students and the members. I think ICSI also have suggested something similar. So a simple thing like all chartered secretaries, right? If you just club 30 years ka chartered secretary into one GPT, that's it. That's a great tool. You can, learn about any topic because it has 30 years of chartered secretary at one place. So, I mean, there are a lot of ideas which you have suggested. Of course, Institute will take its own time, considering the bureaucracy and all.
So this enterprise can be taken up by any of the, like, even ChatGPT can provide you enterprise level
Yes, yeah, I mean,
to the
yes, of
companies,
course.
right?
So when you work with Microsoft and all, see, Microsoft is nothing but is working on the ChatGPT GPT model only,
Right.
right? So that's the enterprise edition. Similarly, if you're working on a Google operating system, let's say your all email servers and all, then Google will give you the Gemini related, enterprise, version to you, right? Apart from that, as I said, there are a lot of companies which acts like a wrapper in the sense they will use all these base models. Uske upar they will add some more knowledge database and specific enterprise related work what you want and give it you like a package. Usko बोलते हैं wrapper approach. So it will
Understood.
build like a stack.
Understood, sir.
Yeah, one more point is on the AI governance also is one important area. See, the next big stuff would be like corporate governance, when the boards will be like, okay, now everyone is using AI. We need to have a proper AI governance code because at the same time we need to address the ethics part of it, the data confidentiality, the privacy, the bias element, the hallucination, multiple aspects of it, right? So how do you control all these aspects? While there are advantages, how would you have a proper governance model? So then the next question the board will say to the company secretary is that, okay, the company should have a AI governance. It should have a AI committee, AI governing council. Quarterly, there has to be the board meeting which has to have some of these elements, right? Put some control models. What kind of internal audits are really required when the company has started adopting? So like corporate governance, you will have the whole AI governance code, which I'm anticipating that the companies will start involving, and who better than the company secretary to work on it. But of course, when we have that knowledge of corporate governance and the AI, you can work on an AI governance code. Global examples are already there. European Union has come up with the AI Act. You can take the best principles from there. India has a meaty guidelines. So currently in India, we don't have any regulation which controls what you can use AI for, what you cannot use. Unlike in Europe, where they said for certain areas you can't use AI. So I think some companies have gone voluntarily and they created an AI governance code basing on the EU AI Act. So again, that is the whole layer of governance and AI. You club it and you have the AI governance. That's a completely a different domain where you actually are helping the organization to utilize AI in a proper governance manner where you mitigate all those risks. Yeah.
Understood, sir. I think my questions are over. We can take up the questions, sir, now.
Yeah,
Okay,
There
this
are
is just
so
a
there,
there are
trailer.
some
I mean, this is a
questions
very
in
deep
chat
dive
box,
topic actually.
Sandeep.
Yeah,
there are some questions in the chat.
yeah, let's.
Are enterprise AI confined only to respective enterprise or even open to public?
No, it is only confined to the respective enterprise only. For example, I am using Microsoft Copilot. See, I am that's my Microsoft 365. So whatever data I put therein, I mean, no one else can see that. So enterprise AIs are only for the enterprise. It's not for the public. It's like your own secured the environment.
And even the premium version also same protection comes to that.
No, I don't think so. As the Chat GPT premium version, no. I
No,
mean,
no, no, no. I'm saying same thing. Copilot. See,
Copilot,
enterprise.
Microsoft 365 is there. Okay,
Yeah,
that is the enterprise edition.
no, enterprise for the company across the company.
Correct.
For an individual subscription, I think there's some premium version is there. Microsoft
Correct. But
365
still,
premium.
even if that is the case, I mean, I can't definitely use a confidential data in that, put that data in that system. See, if you're not putting any confidential data, if you're using it for the learning, research, and all that stuff, it is fine. But see, most of our job is in such a manner that you have to, put some facts of the matter. You
True,
have
true.
to put transaction details. You need to talk about some contract and all that stuff. I mean, howsoever you may want to keep blinded. See, sometimes some people, what they do, I have seen what they do, they will use some of these, but they remove the names of the companies and all that stuff and
Correct.
try to use it like a blinded data and still try to get the answers of it.
So you're saying only enterprise version has that protection, not
That
any
that
other option. Okay.
that
Enterprise or
yes,
it's
that's what.
licensed version otherwise.
Oh, license version. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
see, you have now these softwares comes with a, like enterprise license where you can use this software for multiple people, multiple
Users.
user, single user versus multiple user.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
see,
yes.
Do
they
you
have
think?
this enterprise AI, version. That's what you need to ask. And of course, this is a good question you ask. I mean, with any of the vendor, this is the first question you need to ask. I am going to use all the the contracts, transactions, and all confidential data because see, if you really want to use fully, you will naturally use you will put all the resolutions and all the
Obviously.
stuff into that data. It will give you an access, right? So the first question would be, will this data go out? Or the system, will it learn from this data? I think these are the questions what we need to ask. If they say no, nothing goes out, everything comes in only,
In
that's
only.
fine. And of course, to be substantiated with the proper agreement, because if you will need to enter into an agreement, we will put all these clauses in it so that you are mitigating that risk.
See, I was hearing like now a lot of people hire AI agents. They will work for us. So how
Huh.
does that model like in professionals taking a AI agent for helping their schedules or helping their process and all. So how do you had an experience of having such kind of
Yeah, yeah. So I've
agents
just
hired?
gave an example earlier. See, today, let's say if I have an executive assistant, I would have appoint one person. That person will manage my calendar, will manage my travel, right? All that stuff. But there are a lot of tools which can actually be there. It will automatically respond. It will update the calendar. It will send a response on my behalf. And if I tell about the tickets booking and everything, it can be done. So that is the agentic AI,
Okay.
uh, which is definitely the possible. And even within the finance teams, HR teams, and all that stuff, at least some level of agentic AI is possible. Typical recruiting, what happens? A recruiter will go and search some database, right? Then they will review their resumes. Then they will compare that with job description. Then they will shortlist. There are multiple layers. Now, if you use an agentic AI, it will straight away go into the database, automatically compare your job description, does some matching. It will also go and do a social media check of that person and put all fitment criteria. In fact, if you want to add a layer of due diligence tool, that person should not have criminal cases and all, and if you attach some database, it will check all that stuff and then it will say, okay, these are the 10 profiles.
Yeah.
That's the agentic AI in one example. So that way, I think multiple processes, if it can be done by one particular workflow, I mean, it's like an agentic AI. Means instead of a person, you have an AI which acts like an agent for you.
Agent for us. True, true, true. I was hearing some time back. I think they're the infrastructure company, like real estate company. So that guy was saying that entire project is sold using AI only.
Yeah,
Customer inquiries, AI processed it, and finally the customers were finalized and given, and then the final deal only given to the humans, and they came and signed off agreement. An entire project of 1,200 flats. He was sharing that no sold without any human intervention in between.
correct. See, your Zomato, Swiggy, whatever chat you have, customer care and all,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
all done by AI. And in fact, it resolves the dispute also.
Dispute
And
also.
sometimes, if you're not happy with the food, it will get the payment also. That is
Payment.
all through this only. I mean, there's no actual human being there. So, I mean,
Anyway,
that way, I think a lot of companies are, involving using this tools. See, again, that is a completely different domain where how. Whether it is a pharma company, earlier it used to take some 3 to 4 years to find a right molecule, testing, clinical research, and all that stuff, because it was all involved statistics, data, and all that stuff. Whether a drug is effective and safe. Now with this AI tools and all, the timeline has drastically gone
reduced.
down. So whether it is pharma, whether it is real estate, Bajaj Allianz example I'll give you. Bajaj Allianz, what they did, they took the data of 1 year customer calls because they were all recording it for training
Yeah,
purpose and
yeah.
all.
True, true.
All that recording data they put it in AI and they came up with the themes. What are the top problems consumers are having? How they can solve? And based on that data, what kind of a products
They
the
can
you
decide.
know
They
the,
can
the consumers are
introduce.
requiring, and they're designing the products based on that. I mean, you can check this example. So whether it is FMCG, retail, all of these e-commerce and all, they're all talking about how AI can be integrated to develop in their own business case itself. We are not talking about the functional part of it.
True.
In their core business, itself,
That's it.
every industry is using that.
Sandeep, yeah, there are some more questions in the chat box. Just
One
take them.
question is, should professionals learn prompt engineering to use AI tools effectively?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think we answered this.
Already
I
answered.
think
Yeah.
if at all anything which we need to learn, I think this is the prompt engineering only. And again, this is all about our learning. I mean, based upon our experience and the wisdom, we ask different questions. On one particular transaction, I think Ramakrishna may have such an experience that the way he will use the tool
Use
will be different, or maybe I may not be able to use that.
True,
My
true.
level might be little low, right? So it is, so that's the prompt engineering. So it's just knowing the techniques of framing those right questions.
Right
uh,
prompts.
and sometimes what people do is that they keep on iterating multiple questions पूछेंगे, so उससे
Hmm.
problem हो जाएगा. Rather than that, frame that question so that you don't need to again keep on asking the same question. So if you frame it nice, you will get one good base product. Yeah, so undoubtedly the answer is yes.
I think there are no more questions, and the way the session was also held with respect to it was an interactive session, so it was like question and answers only, and I believe that most of the view members who has attended has means got the right answers throughout this session. So with this, I would like to conclude, sir, and I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to our expert speaker Shujath sir for sharing such a valuable insights with us. So today's discussion was extremely practical, and we also learned that how AI works at a backend level, what is prompt engineering, where the professionals can use it, use this and variety of other kind of chat GPT, or how to use it, and the precautions which all the organizations should take by, like you said, that you can formulate a policy preventing what data should go and what should not, and also about how to prepare ourselves in future as a company secretaries, as a professionals. So this was a very insightful session, sir. Thank you very much on behalf of R&A Associates. And I also like to thank all the participants for actively joining and supporting for this webinar. Thank you very
Thank you,
much, sir.
Sandeep. Yeah, in fact, we should keep it as a series because this is a subject of great interest and we are all students. So I think, day to day, a lot of things are happening. So in fact, as I was mentioning, it's just a very basics. We just discussed
Right.
very briefly about each of these stuff. So it was more of an introduction to the
Right.
subject. So I'm sure you can think through to
We, we
put
will
it like a
take that.
serious end.
We will take that advice, Shujath, and I think Sandeep will come back to you.
Sure.
Please help us to have a session, next level session, maybe sometime as per your this thing, because these lot company secretaries, I feel in terms of AI still lagging behind. I think you are the right resource or right person to enrich the knowledge of the company secretary, make them prepared. So we had that.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
And we'll continue to bother you, and we'll continue to share, take your expertise and knowledge to the benefit of our company secretaries at large.
Okay. Thank you, boss.
Thank you,
Venkatramana, you want to add
Venkat.
something as a council member? What are you doing? A lot of company secretaries are getting frightened with the AI coming in.
So when is this
council member
ICSI
doing?
coming, sir? ICSI AI class, when is it coming?
Sandeep, May we are planning. I will can give the dates and module details also.
Responsibilities on Ramana and ICSI to empower the company secretaries to cope up with the AI advancement.
It will be at the May end, Ramke. Dates are finalized. 3 days. Only we are scheduling the module wise speakers.
Can you spill some beans, sir? What exactly it's going to be?
It is all 3 days certificate program. We have divided into 8 modules, and modules will have the coverage of the topics, different topics. How the company secretary, mostly company secretary, how you can equip yourself in AI. That is the more this thing. See, end of the day, what you will come to know, how the AI tools are, what purposes you can use, and how you can use. You will come to know, but exactly once you start working on it, then only you will come to know. It is all like what he said, trial and error always.
Understood, sir. Understood. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Shujath, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sujat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for taking
Bye.
the
Bye.
time.